A wonderful good evening and a heartfelt welcome to Conversations with Brandon. Sorry, I'm just got a white box here over my head. So we are welcoming people from across the globe today. So thank you very much, everybody, for joining us. I've seen people here from the UK, from Germany, from the Netherlands, from Israel. Heartfelt welcome. We have Hebrew translation here today. I've saw quite a few names and hellos from the US, from the United States. So a heartfelt welcome to everybody. And I'm also seeing a lot of names here that I recognize that have already are part of the Journey community, are part of the Journey family. So a heartfelt welcome to all of you, and a lot of new names. I know that you may have seen um, a, a, a social media post or something on Facebook or Instagram. So huge welcome. Or received an email from our team. And it's a beautiful opportunity for you to bring your questions. Now, my name is Gabby. I've been with Brandon and the Journey for 30 years now. And the work has so transformed my life that I kind of loved it so much, and I'm still here today. But for those of you who have never met Brandon before, Brandon is the founder of the Journey Method. She's written best-selling books that have been translated into 23 languages. The Journey has been offered in 50 countries around the world. We've been touring and offering live seminars in many parts, well, 50 countries in the world. And it's been an amazing opportunity to see the transformation that happens with Brandon's work, and the opportunity to have Brandon here live with us so that we can ask questions, whether that's in our personal life, whether that's our health, whether that's whatever that is, if something that really moves you. And Brandon will actually tell you how to, what questions to bring into the room. And for those of you who do have or will have questions, there is a digital hand to raise. And if you are on a laptop, you have a little heart emoji at the bottom of your laptop. And if you click on that, you have a raise hand option. And if you do that, it will look like this. And then we know that you would like to ask a question of Brandon. You will appear next to her, and you can ask your question, and we'll get an answer from Brandon. So it's really beautiful, and a beautiful opportunity. And I just hand over to Brandon right now, and let Brandon take the floor and get us started off. Thank you so much for being with us live here tonight, Brandon. Thank you.
And a heartfelt namaste to everyone. And, I started giving these conversations with Brandon starting in April, and I became aware it just seemed like everywhere we've been looking over this last decade, and specifically also in the last 6 years, it's like one crisis after another crisis after another crisis. And none of us were given a manual how to deal with those crises. And so we're trying to find our way through such challenging times, and with all the wars going on and all what's happening on the political world stage and what's happening in our own lives, I just thought I wanted to reach out. And that was the real prayer here, that, we'll take a few moments just to get still and go into meditation and just to settle and get present, and then open our hearts and uncover what's the heart's prayer right now? What's the deepest issue that you're working with? And it's not that I have the answers. That's not the truth at all. It's that we can explore together and find if there's a way that those areas of your life that you're being challenged in, that we can find a way for you in a very natural way to find a way to ease and peace in that area of your life. And so this is really just an open forum for us, a context text for us to come together and just to take a breath and have this time to let your hair down. And just so, why don't we begin by bringing ourselves present to this moment? And let's take a nice deep breath in and sighing it out and closing your eyes and taking a deep breath in and blowing out of your room all the stress that's been here, the anxiety, all the issues that we've been grappling with. For right now, just take a deep breath in and blowing it out of your room. And then breathing into your room, openness to whatever it is your soul wants to reveal. Breathing openness into the room. And the willingness to listen to yourself, to be present with yourself, to listen to the heart's calling. So, breathing in that willingness to listen to yourself. And trust in yourself, in your soul's prayer that it wants you to come home. It wants you to be free. It wants you to experience the peace that is already there inside, beneath all the tumult of our lives. There is a deep well of peace that is yourself, that you can open into. And so breathing trust in yourself, trust in your soul, trust in your soul's prayer that it's time now to come home to the love that is your essence, the peace inside. Breathing that trust into the room. And then this willingness to be exposed, to be vulnerable, to open in such a way that you can actually feel what's going on inside. To be naked with yourself, transparent. So that exposure, where there's that willingness to meet whatever our soul drives to the surface. So breathing that exposure into the room. And now letting your heart be as wide as the world. Wide enough to welcome all of life into this vast open sky of your being. And it's scintillating and vast, spacious and free in front of you. It's boundlessly vast and spacious behind, infinitely free and endless to all sides of you. And just resting now, soaking, steeping in this ocean of ever deepening presence. And then giving permission to your body, your nervous system, to wind down and relax. With all that's going on, the deluge and barrage, almost like an assault happening in life, our nervous systems get so heightened. And just taking a deep breath in and letting your body and your nervous system know that now is your time just to relax now. And giving the body permission to soften the tension that's here. Smoothing your own forehead and softening the corners of the eyes. Relaxing the facial muscles. And releasing the grip of the jaw. Letting your mouth flop open like a fish. So much tension is carried, and it doesn't give us anything. It doesn't protect us from anything. All that tension does is give us tension. So giving permission right now to your whole body that it can soften, relax, and open. This is our time to let our hair down. So letting the jaw just flop open, releasing that grip. And the mouth and the corners of the mouth are softening. You can even relax the roof of the mouth. And then softening and relaxing your throat and your neck muscles. I know as a child, there were so many unshed tears that I choked back. Now as an adult with a journey, often when I soften my throat, those unshed tears just come up out of nowhere. I was so busy choking them back when I was younger. And so softening the throat and the neck muscles, letting them become loose like limp spaghetti noodles. And letting your head be held up by a string, like a puppet on a string up into the heavens. And somehow your neck and throat can just float freely. You can even check it out. If all the weight of your head is being pulled up by that string, the crown of your head, the neck gets free and loose and open, and permission is given just to express whatever's here now. And softening now your shoulders. All of us carry such a burden of responsibility, and just for now, give yourself permission to let some force of nature come or angels come and just lift off this burden of responsibility and throw it into the sun. Feeling your shoulders. Relax now. We've all of us given ourselves jobs. And for right now, what if your only job is just to relax? And softening the shoulders and going to the chest area. And so often I've thought I'm being open-hearted. But when I've gone to my heart area, there's a way I've been afraid of getting hurt again. And so there's like I'm bracing or defending against life, as if there's a door there. So consciously choose right now to open the door to your own heart, as if you're saying, I am open to life. As a matter of fact, open the door to the whole front of your body, and there have been billions of molecules with your name on it, knocking at the door. And as you open the whole body, let a flood of grace come in, a flood of light, flooding into your heart area. And with the out breath, some sort of release is happening, and breathing in that light, that love, that transmutational healing grace, breathing that into the heart area. And with the out breath, like waves of the ocean, it's flooding out. And it's taking with it whatever no longer serves you anymore, and breathing into that heart space. And with the out breath, some sort of release is happening, some sort of letting go, and breathing into your solar plexus now. And with the out breath, like waves of the ocean, something that no longer serves you is just automatically being dragged out with the wave. And again, breathing in a wave of the ocean of grace, of light, of transmutational healing graces flooding in now to your waistline and tummy area. And with the out breath, there's a release happening, a letting go, and breathing into the belly area. And with the out breath, something is leaving, and breathing into the pelvic region. So many secrets there. Let that light in, that love in, that transmutational healing grace. And with the out breath, just letting go, whatever the body's ready to let go of. And breathing into your bottom. And with the out breath, something is opening, something is releasing, and breathing into the legs, from the thighs to the knees, to the shins, to the feet. Breathing in this healing grace. And with the out breath, some sort of release is happening. And even going to the areas surrounding your body, sometimes it's the body that offers the barrier. And so it becomes like an armor. So opening the front door of that armor, or the back door of that armor, the side doors, and take any masks you're wearing off, helmets, leg irons, and boots, and let this whole suit of pseudo armor drop now to the ground, be swept out of the room. And sometimes the walls that we erect are actually in front of us in consciousness. And imagining that wall is crumbling into so much gravel, turning into dust, being swept out of the room. And now going to mind, because even our mind carries tension. It can feel like a tightly held fist or a tightly held flower bud. And take a deep breath into your mind. And with the out breath, letting it open like a flower to the sun, breathing into the mind. And with the out breath, letting it open like a flower to the sun. And so mind is open, heart is open, body is open, being is open, all is open. And the awareness is vast and open and spacious and free in front of you. Boundlessly spacious and free behind. Vast and endlessly free to all sides. And we're just resting now. Soaking. Steeping. In an ever-deepening ocean. stillness. And just resting here. And now going into your heart and just inquiring of yourself. If there were an issue that you've been grappling with, or something that you've just been longing to somehow set free or find an answer to or resolve in your life, what's your heart's prayer? What is it longing to find an answer to resolve in your life? And so opening with your own heart, and then this willingness to listen. If my own heart had a prayer, a longing to realize something, to discover something, resolve something, find its way home, what are the questions that are most uppermost in your heart right now? And if you'd like, you can whisper that into the room. What is it that's here for you? And holding that dear and close in your own heart, taking a nice deep breath in and letting it out, and just resting here in this ocean, as this ocean. And you can open your eyes now into this vast field of peace, of love, that is your essence. And taking another nice deep breath in and sighing out. And another nice deep breath in and sighing it out. And with your eyes open, allowing your awareness to be open, spacious, vast in front, free behind, endless to all sides, and just resting here, soaking in this, as this. And so if there's a question that's very strongly here in your own heart that would like sharing or exploring or resolving, you can raise your hand, and I can see some hands are beginning to go up. And so Gabby will call your name and
Annalisa, please.
Namaste, Annalisa.
Namaste. Thank you so much for this opportunity, Brandon. I really appreciate it. My question that's burning in my heart is I have a nephew that when he late teen years, he had a mental outbreak, and he's been in a home, a group home, and his life has been full of ups and downs. But when I was doing, Dr. Chopra had this list of things that a person goes through, and if they check all of them, they have like lots of trauma, lots of, in his life. And I checked off almost everything for him. He's a twin. He's gay. He has divorce, single mom, like the whole 9 yards, everything he said, and I can't remember all of them now, but he checked off. And it is in my heart to I really want to help him, and I have helped him all of his life, except now that when he's in a home. And he recently asked me, if he can come back, and I want to do the right thing and be supportive of him while also respecting what I want. And my life has been spent taking care of my family, like literally doing everything. I'm more of a parent than a sibling, and even my siblings' children I've been taking care of. And I'm finally on my own now with my own space and finding my own path.
Mm.
So I don't know. I'm torn because I want to do the right thing for him and support him. And he has so much potential,
Mm.
you know, that I want him to flourish, but I also don't want to, stunt my growth. I don't know if this makes sense, but
It makes total sense for you. Whenever I have a difficult decision to make, and this is a difficult one, is it possible for him to go back to his mom? Or is that not a situation that he can go back there?
he unfortunately, no, he's 25 now, and he's been in the group home for the past 3 to 4 years. Because of the first year, he was like moving around and in the hospital, and he actually had a psychotic break when he was with me. When I and that's when he had to go to the hospital, and that's when he left. But I've been studying and learning, and I want him to know that I love him and I don't hold anything against him. He didn't hurt me. I know he doesn't want to hurt me. It's just all the stuff that his
Right.
soul is going through.
Yeah, yeah. And it may not be an appropriate time for you to actually, even though he has a prayer to come out, it may not be appropriate because one of the things that, as Chopra shared, when there's been between 4 and 6 traumas, and traumas can be anything from, as you said, divorce, neglect, abuse. It can be, substance abuse, physical, sexual, mental, on and on, that our chances of having some sort of breakdown or illness is 400 times greater. And so these traumas, it's best for him to be in a situation where there are people who can work with these traumas to help clear it. I mean, that is what the journey is all about, actually, is it takes you on a journey inside the body to specific cellular locations to get to these traumas and to fully release and clear them so that when new cells are born, they're born devoid of that old programming. But because I take it, you haven't gone through the journey yet?
I have gone through one time. I'm preparing to go through it again another time.
Okay.
Um, but it didn't have anything to do with him, and
Yes,
he.
exactly. Well, one of the things you can do, because you've done, let's say, an emotional journey or a physical journey, I assume you've done those, is that you can take him to the campfire and you can work with him in consciousness to help him come home to a sense of forgiveness and wholeness and peace within himself. So there are ways that you can work in consciousness. We've had veterinarians who work with horses who actually have horses heal as a result of doing journey work with them, which gets to these buried traumas. So there's nothing to stop you working in consciousness with your nephew from a healing perspective, from a bringing him to a sense of wholeness and peace inside. And the second thing that is very important for you to do, because it sounds like you are a caregiver and you've been giving to everyone and not to yourself, and you're feeling torn. And everybody can try this right now. Just close your eyes and think of a decision that you're needing to make and go into your heart area. Just go into your heart area. And in your case, Annalisa, is we're going to picture welcoming him into your home. And check what happens. Just keep breathing in the heart area and the gut area. So just make that picture of how your heart and your body feel about welcoming your nephew into your own home. And if you get a glitch or a contraction, just observe it. You don't have to do anything with it. So that's option one. And now take a deep breath in and coming to neutral. And now once again, we're going to go with option two, which is doing journey work and consciousness with him, sending him all your love and support, but also making it clear that it's time now for you to be able to live your life, get on with your life. And so this is option two, where you actually opt for yourself. And so I want you to breathe again into the heart space and into your gut area. And just picture this, offering all the love through journey work and consciousness, and also opting to, for once in your life, let you move forward. And just so breathe into the heart space and check, does it feel easy breezy, or does it feel like there's a contraction of some kind? Option two. So once again, we're going to go back. Let's take a deep breath in. Neutrality. Be neutral. Now, breathe into your gut. Option one. Bringing him into your home. Breathe into your heart. Is it free and easy and a green light, or is there a contraction here, or a glitch, or a holding, or a tightness? Now take another nice deep breath in. And now go to option two, which is continuing doing journey work in consciousness and healing, and also opting to move forward in your own life. So breathing in to the heart and the gut area. Does it feel easy, breezy, or is there a glitch or a contraction? And just note them. And everybody, you can do this for some decision you're making in your life. And taking a deep breath in and coming to neutral and opening your eyes. So what is your body, your heart, your gut telling you for option one?
So I was able to, the funny thing is I don't know if maybe I'm not feeling it right, but both of them felt the same to me. I didn't have a, you know, a release or a hold.
Okay.
Maybe it's me not being relaxed enough. I don't know, but they
It's
felt
not
this.
a release or a hold. I'm just asking you to check. As you picture one option, just check if it just feels natural, easy breezy, or if there's somehow a clenching or a contraction. So
Yeah,
just
I
for a
think
moment right now, picture, close your eyes, picture option one, and then just check in. Breathe into your heart, your gut. Picture going through with option one. He moves in with you. Just check. Is there some sort of clenching or contraction, or does it feel free and easy?
option two feels better.
Okay.
Option two feels better. Um, I guess it's my own internal guilt, it's like I all know, I mean, there's been very many people that have helped me along the way, you know, strangers and those close to me. And part of me feels guilty. What if I'm supposed to be that person for him? I
Yeah.
don't know.
Take the mind out of the picture. And I was just asking to listen to the body. So option 2 felt healthier, easier.
Yes.
And the reason I take you into your body out of your mind, because the mind replays the same old story, like a broken record. And you're a caregiver, you're a giver, you give to everyone, you're even a parent to your siblings. So you've got that habit going on in your mind, but I was trying to take you out of your mind into your body, because the body never lies. Mind comes up with all kinds of nonsense, but the body never lies. And you can trust your heart. So, what I'd like you to do after this session, now that it's clear that for you, option 2 feels better, is to sit down and write down everything that on option 1, your fears around it and your guilt around it and everything, and also do the same thing for option 2. And then when you're done, you can feel free to burn whichever one feels like it's needing now to be let go of, because you've got a habit that's not healthy. And there's nothing worse than welcoming him into your home and feeling the whole time that you did the right thing, but you forsook yourself. You betrayed yourself. So it's an important life lesson to learn. And it may be that in doing the healing work with him in consciousness, that there'll be another option, another doorway that opens that isn't necessarily living with you. Yeah. But always, when the mind's going like this, drop into the heart, to the gut. Heartfelt.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Jane Irvin, please.
Namaste.
Oh, whoops, I just lost this. Whoops, just lost the screen. You can hear me?
I
Oh, there we
can.
are. Okay, hello, Brandon. I'm so thrilled to talk to you. I just did the Journey Intensive for the first time this past
Wow.
weekend, and it's one of the most profound and transformative experiences. And it was exactly what I hoped I would get out of it. So I'm incredibly grateful. Um, and I have a couple questions. I'm so glad you brought up the horses because of a quick question about my cat. And I came out of the weekend thinking, can I work with my cat? He's very anxious. He's scared of everything.
Mhm.
And I have in the past, not so recently, done energy work, healing work with animals, and so the guidance was you can't just read him the journey, but you could enter, do like energetic work with him and imagine him through the energy, like connecting energetically with him, going through the journey. And I wondered if you had any perspective on that.
Yes, one of the things that we learn when we go through the whole Journey Practitioner program, the whole Life Transformation program, is how is it we can work with infants? They can't voice anything. How do we work with animals? And we've had so much success with animals actually healing, not just from behavioral things or anxiety, but from actual illnesses with the journey. And so you can feel that you can, if you can, take your animal into your own lap and sit with them, and just in your mind's eye go down the steps and get to a campfire and work in consciousness with them. And
Yeah.
so it's you're not the first person that I remember. It was over 30 years ago, and I was in London, and a woman made an appointment to come to me for private therapy. And so she came into my private practice, but she brought her dog, and who was needing to die. He was 17 years old, and he was one of these little dogs, very shaky. And she just said, he's fighting leaving his form. And she doesn't know what to do because he's incontinent, and so he's pooing everywhere, and he's in so much pain, and yet he's fighting. And so it was interesting. I had her take the dog and hold it in her lap. And, we just sat there together, and we opened with the dog in consciousness. And the dog was feeling so ashamed for being incontinent and making a mess. And, and she was apologetic because she was so upset and frustrated with it. And she would shout when, it's just that she was upset that it happened. And so there was a whole resolution that happened. And the dog during the time stopped shaking and finally, for the first time, just relaxed. And she took him home and he was able to sleep. And 3 hours later, he passed. Passed in total peace. So definitely you can use the journey to work in consciousness.
Yeah.
And it's so rewarding. It's so rewarding. There was this, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, he won't let me put him in his lap, but I could probably sit next to him and still do this.
Oh, for sure. You don't even have to be in the same room.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's just trust that your heart is pure and you're connecting with the heart.
Okay. And my main question for you was, having done this work this past weekend, obviously I know there's more work to do, and what's a good way to keep going? Should I revisit it once a week? Should I just sort of tune in and feel? Is there any kind of overall map?
That's a question of listening to your own heart, but there's something called the Journey Home platform. And it's beautiful because you've gone to the journey immersion. So now you are allowed to be part of the journey community. And it's an amazing, amazing community where we all come together. I give satsang where I actually work with you, one-to-one in the journey platform. And it's for people who are journey grads. And you get to have journey swaps. And there's a whole archive of beautiful meditations and guided introspections, process work that you can just download. And it's a whole support system. And so, there's nothing to stop you from getting a journey swap, connecting with any of those people who were on the journey immersion this last weekend and getting a journey swap once a week. I mean, you've got nothing to lose but some baggage and everything to gain by coming more fully home to the love that is your essence, to the peace inside. And then, of course, I'll be seeing you and working one-to-one with you in satsang. And there are others presenters who are presenting different themed programs. And so it's a beautiful way. And I named it the journey because it's a journey with your soul. And for me, when I was on tour and before COVID, I was traveling 44 weeks out of the year. And every week was in a different country, different city, giving the journey work. And every week I got a journey process. I never wanted to be so arrogant to say I've got it all handled. I know that there's more than one issue stored inside this body, more than one cell memory. And I feel it's a privilege to clear whatever blocks me or holds me back or shuts me down on any level of being. And so I wouldn't dare stand on stage without having had my journey process. And I would share with them what was going on. So for instance, here's something interesting. You met Gabby just by, who introduced me. And a couple of weeks ago, I did a journey process with her. And I ended up going inside the body. But the issue is that I was holding back tears. There were unshed tears. There was pain that wanted to turn into tears, but that somehow I was holding it back. And we cleared all that. Now, last week, I ended up having to go to a doctor because I had eye irritation going on. And she said, well, Brandon, you have pinguicuela, but you also have something called DES, dry eye syndrome, and your tear ducts are blocked. I mean, talk about being a total mirror of emotionally, I was holding back the tears. So my eyes became incapable of shedding tears. And so now tears come after the journey process. But yes, it's a beautiful ongoing journey with your own soul. And I'll be a student of life till the day I die, honestly.
I think I've joined that. Is that the monthly?
Yeah, but you're
Yes.
part of it. You can get on
Yeah.
any day of the week,
Mhm.
get together with other people, do journey swaps. There's journey practitioners there. You can download everything. You're part of it naturally for the first 3 months after the journey intensive, because it was never my intention to do, just a seminar and then you're fixed for life. That's just so untrue.
Mhm.
It is an ongoing journey with yourself. And so just make sure you get on that. And, you can download meditations where I'm taking you through a physical journey or an emotional journey or, different processes if you feel that you need a belief drop through or, a vow change inside, all those things.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
All right. I look forward to exploring that. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. I'm so glad to meet you in person.
Lovely to meet you. Many blessings to you. Thank you.
Blessings, blessings to you.
Marcia.
Hi, my name is Marcia. Where am I? There I am. And I will be on the journey in October
Okay.
because you're doing it midweek. Thank you very much. I volunteer for my church, and every Sunday I have to be. But anyway, my so all I ever heard from my mom and my sister and my dad was wrong, critical, judgment. Who are you? And I want to find a way to love myself, even if I do something.
You've frozen there. And I don't know if it's my machine or if it's your.
It's not you, Brandon. It's Marcia. But
Yeah.
maybe you can just answer the question and then she can pick it up in the recording.
Okay. Well, what I got from her is that there has been a lot of criticism coming your way, and you want to find a way to love yourself. And the first thing that I would do is when you're around other people and they're criticizing, usually that criticism is coming from them being in some sort of fear or pain or non-acceptance of themselves. And so, if you were to go into an insane asylum and someone started yelling inanities at you and criticizing you, all you would do is you would bless them. And you would know that they're in pain and that their criticism and judgment is coming from that pain. And so, what I would recommend practicing is just when their criticism, which is knee-jerk, it's habituated, it's, they've been doing that their whole life long, that when the criticisms comes your way, is just to send love to their soul and not to buy in it. Now, what I find helps with that is to imagine a crystal dome over your own head where all the criticism just rolls off. And the only thing that can enter the dome is love. So, in addition to just feeling that people are speaking from pain and sending them compassion, to put a crystal dome over your head and just let the criticism roll off and just rest in yourself. Just rest in yourself.
I feel fortunate to still be here because I'm an orphan and a widow. um, so church really is my family now. And I had so much resentment that I had very strange cancer, which I believe they got it all, but I have to keep checking every 6 months. And, there's different things going on. And I just want to be able to love myself and my body and to let go of hearing, something happened here. And I thought, oh my God, what did I do?
Yeah.
That's the way it's been all my life. And I know that's the past. And I'd like to let it go.
Well, it's stored inside your cells. See, the thing is, science has found when you feel a strong emotion, and of course, when someone's been criticizing you, judging you, dumping on you, you're at a peak of a strong emotion. And when you're at a peak of a strong emotion and you shut it down, because none of us were given a manual how to deal with it, it releases into our body a corresponding biochemistry, which will go to certain cellular locations and block those cells, rendering those cells incapable of communicating with the rest of the cells in the body. And if over time illness happens, it happens where the cells are blocked. And conversely, what's also known to be true is that when we feel our emotions very naturally, like a child does, our cell receptors stay open. And so what the journey method does is it takes you on a journey inside your body to specific cellular locations where these old buried trauma, this buried emotional pain, those old knee-jerk habits, the reactions, all of that is stored. And you go through a very beautiful process of releasing all that stored pain, that old consciousness, and you come to an understanding of what has happened to you in your life, and ultimately forgiveness of yourself, of others, of life for the circumstances that you've lived through. And at that moment when you forgive, that's when you let go of that old programming. And so when new cells are born, they're born as new regenerative cells, devoid of that old programming. And so that's what the journey is and does. And so that brings you, yes, your past is relevant because it's stored in your body as trauma. And so with the journey, you're going to be clearing that and having a chance to wholly free your body of it, so that when new cells are born, they're born devoid of that old consciousness. I mean, I healed from a basketball-sized tumor, which many of you already know, without medical intervention, even though I went to a surgeon and went to the hospital and everything. But part of my healing journey resulted in finding a way, a method for all of us in a very direct, practical way to go on a journey inside the body and to really clear wholly. Now, there's 3 hospitals in Israel where, let's say you go for a heart operation, and afterwards you can go to a recovery center where they get to the emotional root cause. What co-created the heart disease? Same is true for the oncology unit. The cancer hospital, after you've undergone your treatment, then you undergo the journey to really get to the emotional corollary, the root cause. What co-created the illness? Fibromyalgia, multiple sclerosis, same thing. Now, what's so interesting is that scientists have followed this and they've actually shot a documentary. And those that underwent the journey so cleared the issue. So let's say they had massive stress, had a heart attack. They get to the root, what caused that stress? Clear it completely. And these scientists for 5 years followed hundreds of patients. And they found that those that had heart disease, they didn't have it return. Those that had cancer, it did not metastasize. Those that went through multiple sclerosis and fibromyalgia, which is degenerative, some of them were even walking again and actually have gotten out of their wheelchairs and dancing for the first time in many years because they got to the cell memories, the traumas, the emotional root cause. So you're in the right place to do exactly this. And I know you're waiting till October to the midweek one, and the truth is there's one coming up next weekend here in Europe that if you decided that for one Sunday you wouldn't volunteer, you could give yourself this gift now instead of having to wait till to go through the journey immersion in October. So anyway, this is all available.
But I do a bunch over there, and Sunday they rely on me. So
Oh yeah, they do rely on you, and they are your family.
yeah.
So what I recommend in the meantime is get onto thejourney.com
Mhm.
and there are downloads on there, a download of my book, you can get different meditations, etc. And there's also something called the Journey Within. And it's a 3-hour workshop, a mini deep dive with me, where it's given at different days of the week, and it'll give you your first opening into the depth of this journey work and the healing work. And so I recommend that if you have to wait until October, at least start beginning your journey and go to the 3-hour Journey Within workshop. And also, get onto the journey.com website, and everybody can do this because there's so much support there. And there are journey practitioners all over America. Are you calling in from America? Where are you calling in from?
California.
California, yeah. I used to live in Malibu a long time ago. I'm from New York, but I lived in Malibu, and then for the last 30 some odd years, I married a Brit, so I ended up living in Britain, and now I live all over the world. So yeah,
Lovely.
so they're beautiful, beautiful journey practitioners there in California. And I used to give journey intensives there when I lived there, and so get onto thejourney.com and they'll have an American, you can get in touch with the American practitioners and you can begin your journey because it's clear you're ready. You're ready.
Thank you so much, Brendan. God
Thank
bless.
you. God bless.
Blessings all. Thank you so much.
And I'm aware we've just come to the end of our time to share together. And I just really want to encourage you that your soul brought you here. It wants you to come home. It wants you to find the peace, the love, the joy inside. It wants you to clear whatever blocks you, whatever holds you back or shuts you down on any level of being. And so I deeply recommend that if you listen to your heart's pull, then if you feel that calling from within, to see if you can get yourself onto the Journey Immersion or the Journey Within workshop. And I'm going to turn you over to Gabby. And for those of you who've already been through the Journey Intensive, just to get onto the Journey Home site and continue working and get to the advanced level retreats. And So I look forward to seeing you at all the upcoming events, and also in a fortnight's time, in 2 weeks' time, we'll be conversations with Brandon again. And until then, a heartfelt namaste. And so I'll turn you back over to Gabby, and she can share with you how to continue your journey.
Thank you so much. That was beautiful. And thank you, everyone, for your beautiful questions and also bringing forth some of those profound answers. So thank you so much, Brandon, for being here with us live today. And as Brandon so beautifully explained, we do have the journey immersion, and it's called Awaken, Reset, and Heal. And that's exactly what it does. It made a huge, huge impact in my life all those 30 years ago. And I know that everybody who I have met over the years, over the decades, it's all become journey family. And the one thing that we all say is we don't know how we would manage to navigate life without it, because it's not just one issue and I clear it and I heal it. It's like life keeps coming up with issues all the time. You know, we have um, so many things happening in everyday life. We have violence, we have wars, we have natural disasters, we have wildfires, we have individual issues, relationship problems, we have health issues, and yet the journey is a process that always brings us home. And every time we come home and meet some of the issues that bring up something inside of us and we clear it, it's usually something old that we've been carrying with us most of the time for decades. So I know there were many people from the United States here today. A heartfelt welcome to you. We have another journey intensive on the North American time zone at the end of August. That's on the 29th and 30th. The very next one on the European time zone is the 8th, this next weekend is 8th and 9th of August. And for everyone who is here today and or who is recommending somebody to come and join, there is a special code that you can use that reduces the price of the journey immersion by €100. So from 397 to 297. I honestly, it's the best value ever, because I heard somebody say a couple of weeks ago, if you put a 0 on it, it would still be great value. It is life changing. It is like somebody's turning on the light on the inside, and it stays a light. It's not something that comes and goes. It's lasting, and it's not something that we can do in a couple of hours. So it takes a weekend. And we have a taster event, which is called the Journey Within, which Brandon has just mentioned for Marcia. There is one on the 2nd of September. So at the moment, we're still signing up for the 8th and 9th of August for the Journey Immersion here on the European time zone, and then at the end of the month. But you have all the links here. And we had many people here from Israel too, Hebrew speaking. And the lady who's been translating, a dear friend, Irit Lifshitz, she's actually organizing a hybrid event in Israel on the 11th of October. So you can either come and join one of our online events if that's easier for you, or you can actually be with her in a room. You still have the teachings with Brandon on a recording, and you have trainers there in person. You have Irit there who is hosting the event, and it's kind of a middle thing. It's not online, and it's not completely live, so it doesn't have Brandon there, but it's a hybrid event is what we're calling it. So that's on the 11th of October. And there are many other events in between, many other dates. And if you just go on the Journey Immersion page, you have all the different dates and languages and whatever time zones you're looking for in the world. And on that note, I thank you with all my heart for being here. Maybe some of the people who've done more of the journey work just want to write a few comments in the chat box and see what it's done to you. For me, I can't imagine life without it. It's I was completely shut down, depressed, and I think about 5 seconds before burnout. And fortunately, the journey found me, or I found it. I don't know which way it was, but that waking up happened on day one of the 2-day journey immersion. And I'm deeply grateful to Brandon. And so I've been spending the last 30 years working alongside her. I work as a coach, I work as a manager, organizing all of our international events. And it's been the richest and most profound, happy time ever. So I'm just deeply, deeply grateful. And I would love to meet you in person. I'm hosting the event coming up in August. I'm also hosting or co-hosting the event in on the American time zone at the end of August. So wherever it is, I would look forward to meeting you, and we can hold hands and go through it together. Have a beautiful rest of the evening or day, wherever you're dialing in from. And it's been beautiful and lovely to meet you here. Thank you with all my heart. Namaste. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.